Welcome back everyone. Thank you for tuning in and being here today. If you're new, thank you for being here. I hope you'll find these tutorials very helpful for you. Today we're going to be focusing on how to paint a sea turtle under the water. I'm super excited about this, and I'd like to thank my patrons who helped me vote on a topic on what to teach and paint. Thank you guys so much. If you'd like to be a part of ColorByFeliks community and give a vote on what I should teach next, or see these tutorials ad-free, please check out the description down below. Alright, let's go over the materials needed for today. For brushes, we need these blending brushes. You could use one, but it's a lot easier and faster to use two. So I recommend having two of those. We need some of these Artist Loft brushes. This is a number 8 right here. It's almost like a filbert style. And then this is a number 4. And then any 1/2 inch flat brush. And any detail brush for the details. And then also an artist sponge. They come in a pack and you can pick and choose which one you like to use best. For paints, I like to use acrylics, and we need titanium white, Cadmium medium yellow, Naphthol medium red, Ultramarine blue, and carbon black. You'll find these blending brushes and my paints over on the description down below on my website if you're interested. But you could use any paint or any brushes that you feel comfortable with and see what works best for you. We need a palette, and I'm using a palette paper over my palette. It saves time because once I'm done I just bunch it up and throw it away. We need a palette knife, a jar of water, some paper towels, and if you have this blow dryer to dry out your first coats. I'm using a 16 by 20 inch canvas, and that's it for materials. Okay, so before we start mixing our paint in our palette, I will quickly describe what we're going to do here. So we're going to have a turtle be underwater, and most of this is going to be blue, and there will be sand a little bit here, and some bushes and rocks maybe, and little fishes having a good time. And let's just see what happens and have fun. So let's begin mixing our paint. Let's pick up our titanium white and our palette. And so let's create a couple shades first. And like I said, most of it is going to be pretty blue, but I want to create still a few different colors. And so let's create just maybe 2 thumbs of white, and maybe a little less. So each time it goes a little less right there. Let's start off with 4, and then if we need to, we'll add some more. Okay, now let's pick up our blue and add it just a little bit here, and then a little more here, and then a little more here, and maybe just a little bit here. Let's just do that right there. So this one has the most blue, as you could see. Now let's pick up our yellow and add the yellow. I want to add it just a little bit here, and then at the end a little more maybe here, like this. Maybe let's just add just a little touch here for fun, like that. Okay, now let's pick up our red and add it right in here, just a little bit right there. And let's, I want to mix this real quick to see what colors they give me, and then we'll add more color to whatever color we need, So let's quickly mix that in. So our palette knife, and let's start with, the lightest shade. I'm guessing it's going to be this one. So let's just mix that real quick. And I'm going to cover most of the canvas, so I might add more paint because a lot of this canvas is going to be covered with these colors. So, but I'm just starting off like this a little bit first, and then I'll add more color if I need to, and I'll show you. So this turned out to be a nice turquoise color. Has this beautiful shade of green to it right there. And now let's mix. Let's just go in order. Let's do this one next. There you go. Okay, next. This should be our darkest one, since we added more blue and a little bit of red in there. It's going to be the color where it's deep in the ocean. And I think I'm going to add more to it, more blue and maybe a little bit of black to it too. Or maybe create a new shade. But I'm definitely, thinking to add a little more blue here for sure. So let's do that real quick. Let's just add a little bit more blue, and I'll show you. So right there, you could see a little more blue. There you go. That's much better. Okay, moving on. Our final color here should be leaning towards green more, since I added more yellow. But I think I'm going to add a little bit of blue to it too. I want it to be more bluish. So I added a little bit more blue. And let's add a little more white as well. Just like that, right there. Okay, and don't worry about trying to copy exactly like what I have here. If your shades are a little bit different than mine, that's totally fine. I'm just, creating it the way I think would look cool, and showing the, the process, the steps, but you should totally create, how you see it. And be confident in your colors that you have mixed. There you go. So this is what I have here, and I think I'm going to make one more shade here, a darker shade, because I do want to cover most of this canvas, pretty much all of this canvas I think. Okay, so I added, as you could see, a lot more blue here, and then a little bit of red right here, so maybe like 3 thumbs of blue, because I'm going to cover, a lot of this will be dark right here in like the middle area, and then it's going to get lighter as we go up, and then this part is going to be a little bit lighter right here. So let's just mix that, just the blue and red. So it's going to give us a nice, like almost like a purple color. Yeah, it is a purple color, because when you mix red and ultramarine blue, it gives you a purple color. But that's what we want. right there. That's good right there. Now we are ready to quickly blend these colors in. And so, like I said, this color is gonna go right here, all across here like this. And then it's gonna go the second darkest, which is this one, next. And then this green one's gonna go on top right here. And then this blue one is gonna go on the bottom. And then this lighter green is gonna be right here. Okay, so let's just put those colors down and just have fun and see, and blend everything in and see how it turns out. Let's pick up our water and one of our blending brushes and dab it in a little, like halfway, like this. And then squeeze some of the water out, but not all of it, okay? And then, now we're gonna pick up, let's start with the lighter shades, okay? So let's start with the bottom area and then move our way upwards. So let's pick up this color right here, this beautiful turquoise green color, and just lay it right in here. Just lay it like this, just everywhere, cover it nicely. Just cover the whole canvas, it's okay. Okay, next is this blue, and I'm not going to use all of it because I might come back later and use that color, but let's move on with the blue and just put it right in here. Okay, just like that. Dab your brush, just the tip in the water so it can run smoother on the canvas. Just the tip like this, and pick up more paint if you need to, and just blend everything nicely, just straight like this, lightly, okay? Just across like that. All right, so every time I'm grabbing more paint, I'm dabbing a little bit of my brush in the water so it can run nice and smooth, and picking up more paint like this. There you go. That's good enough. Now I'm dabbing my brush. Now I'm going to quickly pick up my, let's just pick up this blue just a little bit and add it just on top right here. And I'm dabbing my brush in the water, picking more of it up. And let's pick up this green now and put this green in here with the blue, just the top. Okay, I'm just trying to lay down my lighter colors first before I lay down the darks. Like this. There you go. And now I'm going to dab my brush in the water and pick up this color, our second to the last darkest color right here, and just quickly add that in there. Dab your brush just the tip in the water, pick up more paint, and continue. Okay, and now I'm going to put my darkest color, which is the purple, and just dab your brush in the water, pick up the final color, and let's start by just adding it like this, okay? So dab your brush in the water again so it can run smooth, and let's just add it just like this. There you go, just across. Just back and forth. Dab my brush in the water again. Okay, continue. And just blend those in all the way to the top, like this. Not all the way to the top, I mean. You could see I'm making almost like a happy smiley face. All right, that's good enough right there. So now I'm gonna put my brush back down and pick up my second blending brush before it dries. This is why it's nice to have two of these, because it saves time to, you know, dry out the brush. You could use one and dry it out with a paper towel, but it saves a lot of time to do two, because now I'm working dry with a brush. And I'm going to start with the lightest colors first. So I'm going to quickly just blend those in. It doesn't have to be perfect because this is underwater, and we're going to add more details to it later. So just make it rough blend right here underwater, like that. And then here, I want it to be more like this. So just go lightly. I'm barely pressing the canvas. Lightly back and forth. Just this part right here. And then I'm going to start blending everything right here. I'm barely pressing the canvas, and I'm going to carry the darks up. And it doesn't have to be perfect because this is underwater, so even if it looks a little rough, that's okay. We kind of want it to look a little bit rough because of the reflections and things in the water, you know what I mean? But just blend it to make it nice and smooth some areas. And I'm barely pressing and just pulling the paint upwards. As you could see, there you go. A nice quick blend. While the first coat dries, I'm going to quickly clean my brushes using this natural handmade soap by one of our awesome patrons. This is specifically made to clean your brushes. If you're interested in these, check out the description down below. But I'm going to quickly do that and then we'll continue. Okay, I got a new water jar here and my brushes are clean. I'm going to quickly finish drying this out with a hair blow dryer. Okay, so now that it's dry, I'm going to pick up my number 4 and dab it in the water to make it nice and damp. And I'm going to use some of this lighter blue right here that we have left, just a little bit, you know, whatever you have left. Just a little bit of this lighter blue. I'm going to create a couple ripples right here on top, just on top, like a reflection, you know, from the sky. Maybe you can use your finger to blend it a little bit, but just quickly with water create these little ripples on top. They're going to be very, very light. You almost won't see them, but it creates a nice you know, this nice little detail makes it look more realistic if that's what you're trying to aim for. But if you liked the way you have yours blended and you don't want to, you know, mess it up or add anything to it, that's totally fine. Totally up to you. So I'm just gonna create a random ripples. I don't even know how they would look. I'm just guessing from the reflection of the sun from on top. So just water and a little bit of this blue. And then as you go lower, fade it out. Don't go all the way. Just go where the lighter area is, and then you'll fade it out. You could see them randomly. Okay, and just fade it out. Don't want to go all the way down. Continue on this side and add a few more. Got my brush in the water so it could be nice and damp. I'm using my finger to quickly blend it in. All right, and I'll fade it out. There, it's good enough. Now I'm gonna clean my brush and do the same thing, but just with this color right here, this darker color, just with a little bit of water, and go underneath and just follow some of them. I'm gonna dab my brush in the water so I won't use a lot of paint. I want it to be transparent. Water helps with that. And just on some of them, quickly, you know, add the shadows. And as you go down, you want to fade it out. There you go. That's good enough. And now I'm going to pick up one of my blending brushes and added a little bit of Ultramarine Blue here. And I'm going to dab my brush in the water like this, just a little bit, right? Squeeze it out. And squeeze out the water so it won't be too much, okay? So it could be nice and damp, all right? And we're gonna just pick up some of this blue, just a little bit of this blue, just a tip, as you could see, right? Just a little bit. And we're gonna add this transparent color of this blue right there, all over on top right here. So just all over like this. It will make the water look more, you know, glowy. Just roughly put that in there. This nice blue. Just everywhere. A little more on these corners. And a little bit more right here. So I'm going to dab a little bit of my brush in the water again and pick up more of this blue and add it right here. You could see I'm working transparent. It's not covering the background color, right? And I'm roughly adding it, as you could see. But I want my water to look like this. I want it to look rough because it's underwater. And then now I'm gonna do add a little bit of this blue right in this corner. And I'm gonna make it look a little bit rough. Using the same idea, just add it in there quickly. Okay. And part of this is going to be covered, so it doesn't matter right here. Just here, I'm going to lightly blend that in, but leave some of this roughness in there, okay? Like this. There you go. Okay, now that it's dry, we're gonna continue. You could spend a lot of time detailing the ripples, the water, but I wanna continue and add my turtle and bushes and things like that first, and then you can always come back to it the next day or whenever you want to and detail the rest. So let's move on. Okay, now we're gonna add rocks and some bushes and things right here. And this is what I have on my palette. I have a little bit of white just there, and then black and blue, and then I've got yellow a little bit of red and some white there, and then black, red, yellow, and white. You could see the amount. And I'm going to start with this, mixing the lightest color here, which should be like an orangey color. Okay, I like it. It's a nice bright orange color. Okay, we're going to use that right there. Next, let's mix this one. There you go. Okay, and for this color, I'm going to, so that I won't waste paint, I'm going to pick up a little bit of this leftover blue, or whatever darker color you have left. If you have purple left, pick that up, but I have this blue left, and I'm just going to mix it in, just part of it, you know, in with my darkest color here. Okay, this should be the darkest right here. All right, so I decided to add one more color, black. I'm going to take part of this darker color here, just part of it, mix it in with the black. It's going to be our darkest. Like this, okay? And now, let's just start off with our, pick up our artist sponge. And this part, there's no right or wrong. And what I'm going to do first is dab my artist sponge in the water all the way like this, squeeze it out. Okay, squeeze it out. And then let's start off by adding, let's start off with this dark color here. And just pick up some of the paint. And I'm going to, you know, create like random rocks and things in the water here. Okay, just put it all in there. Maybe skip some areas because we're going to add a different color over them. So let's just go all the way here. Okay, that's good right there. And now maybe a little more here. Make this a little higher. Okay, so now I'm going to pick up my darkest color here, and I'm going to, you know, put it right on the bottom here, cover part of this. It's going to be dark. It's going to be nice and dark. Add it right in there. Okay. And maybe some in here. This should be nice and quick. There you go. All right, and now I'm going to add, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take part of this orange, just part of it, and add some right on top. Just randomly follow it down. Doesn't have to be perfect, just on top. Maybe skip some. Some in here. And then some in here. Just lightly, lightly press and add it wherever you want it to be. Okay. I might actually add a little bit, let's add this brown color that we have mixed. Let's add some, just a little bit in here, in this corner. Add a little bit of that brown randomly. Okay. And now, same thing, this orange, and like that. There you go. And now I'm going to quickly dry this out and we'll continue from there. Alright, so now it's dry and we can add more details. So now I'm going to pick up my detail brush right here, dab it in the water. And I'm going to start by adding, let's go with this black, right? Just the black first. So I'm going to dab my brush in the water so it can run nice and smooth. And just this dark color right here, the darkest. And I'm going to create a couple little tall bushes. So starting from this corner, I'm going to just randomly let it go down like this. So dab my brush in the water again. And as you go down, you want to make it a little thicker. Okay, so maybe here it splits a little bit. Like this, and then one attaches here and one here, and yours could look a little different. Have fun with it. Maybe this one in here. And then one that loops around like this, attaches to that one. And now I'm going to use this orange here, dab it in the water, same thing like we did with black, but just with this orange. Use water and orange. And we're going to outline some of these. Just outline really quickly. Doesn't have to be perfect. Make it a little bit, you know. And maybe not all of them, maybe just some of them. You know, quickly outline it roughly with this orange. Okay, once you finish adding quickly, you know, how you want it, you can spend more time, you know, making it nice and detailed. Remember this green I have left here? I don't want to let it go to waste. I'm just going to use it, this turquoise green. And I'm going to add a few more little bushes here, but they're going to be turquoise. Maybe make them, you know, fluffy or something like that. Just with water and this green. Maybe use a artist sponge here. I'm gonna quickly squeeze out the water and make sure it's nice and just damp right there, and then use part of this, and let's just add it in there. Quickly. I'm going to do the same thing with the orange that I added here. So let's pick up the orange, and I'm going to make it more detailed. Not everywhere. Okay, just on some of these areas. Now I'm going to add a little bit of this leftover green just so I won't let it go to waste. Just a little bit, and mix it in with the white here that we have, just the white. Maybe a little more. Take part of this brown as well, just a little bit. I just don't want to use a straight white. That's much better right there. And now same thing with a sponge. We're gonna create some lighter ones on top here. And as you go down, it lightens up. I mean, it darkens. So I'm just gonna add it a few on top. Just on top. And then fade it out. Okay, there you go. That's good enough right there. Maybe a little more here. I'm going to use this brown, and it's okay if there's a little bit of white in there. That's okay, just use this brown. And I want to add a little bit on these just for fun. Randomly. There you go. And now I'm going to use this black and add a little bit of black right in the middle. Right, it's good enough right there. And I'm gonna go over with a detail brush, just with the black and water, and just go over and, you know, outline, skip some areas and outline some of these. To make it look detailed. Okay, we're almost done with this part, and then we'll paint the turtle. Now I'm gonna pick up my number 8 and dab it in the water so it could be a little bit damp. And I just got yellow here, and a few final details. I'm gonna add a little bit of some yellow just to make it colorful. Totally up to you if you want to do this part. But I want it to glow nicely. You could see it's starting to glow nicely underwater. And I'm not going to add it everywhere, but just on some of these. Maybe someone here. There you go. All right, we can detail as long as we want, but let's continue and draw our turtle. And I have here just a touch of yellow, some white and a little bit of yellow, and then just black and red. I'm going to take part of this leftover brown here and just mix it in here with the red. It's going to be very dark, but we want this color for the base of our turtle. Okay, there you go. Now I'm going to clean my palette so I won't carry the darks, and just wipe it like this real quick. It doesn't have to be perfect, and mix in this color. There you go. And then we have just yellow there. And let's pick up our 1/2 inch brush right here, or you could use your detail brush, whatever whatever's easiest for you. I'm gonna dab it in the water and make it nice and damp. And then I'm going to use this black color right here. I'm gonna take part of it and I'm gonna sketch them out first, and then we'll detail it. So I want it to start from here, and let's just curve a little bit. And let's pretend this is the shell, okay? So this is the shell, and let's pretend it goes all the way down like this and loops around like this, okay? Roughly sketch it out. And then this is where his arm will be. All right, there's the first arm, and then his back legs. I'm going to make this a little bit longer here. His back leg will be up right about here somewhere, and then it's going to go down a bit and make a little loop. And just let it go in. Maybe we can make this shell a little bigger. Like that. Okay, and then the head will be right about here. It curves here, and then his head will be and the neck will be right about here. Okay, so roughly just like that. Sketch it out, and then maybe you can, you know, adjust and draw him out in a more detailed way. But just water and either the detail brush or 1/2 inch, and just quickly maybe I'll make the arm a little bit bigger probably. And I think I'm going to make his head a little bit longer. Okay, and just draw in the darks, the shadows first. I think I'm going to just draw everything in, and then with the black, and then we're going to add another color. So I'm going to start with this dark and add it right on the bottom here, but then I'm gonna switch over to this orange, remember this orange, and just put it right on top randomly. Just spread it randomly like this. Just the orange. Okay, and the black again. And there you go. And same thing here, just a little bit of this orange right in here. Okay, and then I'm going to use my number 8 Artist Loft brush to quickly blend everything in. So here it is, I just dried it out, and then just gonna lightly blend everything roughly in, like this. This is our base. Okay, there you go. All right. And now let's detail him. And I'm going to take my detail brush and this color right here, dab it in the water and swirl it, and then we're going to outline everything around him, and I'll show you real quick. But so that I won't smear the paint, I'm going to quickly dry this out actually. Okay, there you go. I'm going to now just detail him a little bit, and first start off this corner right here, his tail. Make it a little bit longer. All right. add a little bit more. So I'm going to dab my brush in the water again, and I'm going to just make this area brighter. This is where the details come in. Okay, and then a few more details up here. I think I'm going to draw like a little outline here, you know, of the shell. We want to make the shell stand out. Dab my brush in the water again, and we'll continue drawing. Okay, and now we're gonna connect some of these lines here. Dab my brush in water again using the same color. Let's continue. Let's draw his face. His neck here. And his eye. Little eye. Okay, we'll continue. I'm going to make this a little bit brighter right in here. From the light. Just add little dots here and then smear it. Okay. That's good right there. We'll continue. I'm going to make this area a little bit more brighter. Okay. Okay, continue adding some more details, maybe in here. You could use your finger to smear it a little bit. And then here it kind of fades out. Like that. There you go. So I'm gonna add a few more in here. Okay, so now we have a quick sketch of our turtle, and we can step back and see if we like the shape of it. You know, you can work on it. But now I just took my number 4 brush here and then some red and yellow, okay? And so first I'm gonna add a little bit of the yellow, maybe mix it in with the white actually, so it won't be too bright. And a little bit of water, so I'm gonna make my brush a little bit damp. And I wanna add that effect, and you don't wanna take too much, okay? Just a little bit. Yeah, I wanna add that effect right on top, right here. Okay. I want him to glow like this. Maybe skip some areas. Okay. And now I'm going to add this red with some water. And let's add the red I'm going to dab it in the water. And I'm going to add a little bit of the red on his shell. Maybe his face. I'm going to take part of this color, this white one. It doesn't really matter. Just detail him the way you want him to look like. Add some in here. And then, since he's very bright here, I'm going to dim some of it down just with the dark color right here in water. And I'm going to dim some of this down a bit so it won't be too bright. Just a little bit. Maybe in here as well. Okay, and maybe go around the shell right here and add a little bit of the highlight. This. Okay. And now you can, with a detail brush, go over it with black again, and just some of these areas, you know, outline and add highlights in them. Like this. Spend a little bit of time. Okay, so now I'm going to clean my detail brush and go back to this color, this light bright color, and with water I'm going to add a few more details on his head. Very, very fine. I'm going to clean it up a bit. I don't want it to be too bright. So just take a little bit of this color, and with water, let's create a pattern on his head. And just fade it out. Okay. Let's add the pattern a little bit on his arm. And just fade it out. This. Okay. And now I'm going to go back to this color, same color, but just pick more of it up and then outline the lines again so they can stand out a little more. Get my brush in water. All right, Now you can go on and on detailing your turtle, and spending time on it, but let's continue and add little details, and I want to add some fish far away so the turtle won't be alone. And so let's just add a few far away fishes. And if you want to add more details to the fish back, just water in some of this color, just some maybe yellow and whatever color you have left, to go over it lightly. Maybe the ones in the back you don't need to worry about too much, far away. But here you have it. Maybe there's some closer fish here that are a little bit bigger. We'll add a little bit of yellow to it and some orange for fun. Let's add another one next to him. There's a friend. And maybe one more. red, some red. I'm just randomly adding colors. Okay, I'm gonna clean my brush and use this black and outline it real quick. Okay. I think I'm going to add one more for fun. Add some yellow and red. And then outline him just a little bit. Okay, I'll be done for today. You can add as much detail as you want. You can take a break, come back to it the next day. Totally up to you. Have fun with this and see what you could come up with. Thank you for tuning in and being here. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please be sure to like and subscribe if you're new, and stay tuned for next week's tutorial. Take care and God bless.